Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I greet you. How's your family? How's your work? How's your life? How's your journey of faith? And how's your ministry? Remember, we all have our ministry. If you don't know, just go and identify the ministry God has given unto you. But generally, He has given all of us ministry of reconciliation. Yes. So, as the word of God says, wherever Jesus is, anywhere Jesus goes, He is doing good. So also, we too, we should do the same. Yes, we should do the same. Okay, we continue reading our book. We are in part 17. Yes, I've said that max 45. Yes, minimum 30. So let's see how the time allows us now. This is pre-recorded. I need to tell you. So it's not live because of some assignment I have. So I need to quickly do this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. If I would look at the attitude of people, I will not read. No one will force me. But because of Christ's love, yes, because of Christ's love, and that's why we are sharing. That's why we are doing this. Paying price to do this. Thank you. Okay, let's see where we are. I think the last time we talked about some musicians, including Charlie Boy and some other people, businessmen, yes, that visited synagogue and their life entered into comatose. So I also read the Charlie Boy part, yes, and let's start here. Kaffy, all the people I mentioned, the moment you see their name, just Google them. Either they are celebrity or non-entity. So just Google them. You know, Timmy Joshua always liked to pick those people who have name in the society. He wants to bring them nearer to him so that he can use them to capture other people. And he also uses those whose God has destined to do something. God has destined all of us to do something great. But particularly, he always looks for particular ones around. There are a lot of people that enter synagogue and Timothy Joshua send them away. That's just go. But there are some people who just came because they needed help. You know, maybe healing or deliverance or counseling. And it's still more than those people see themselves. And it just tie them down. Yes, in order to hijack their time, their glory, Somebody was telling me recently, he said he always see himself in the dream, traveling all over the world, when he was in Squan, but he never traveled outside Nigeria. And TB Joshua is traveling, traveled everywhere. So you can imagine such transferring, yes, just such wicked spiritual technology that he uses on people. Somebody said in his dream, in her dream, she always pray for the sick, laying hands on the sick, but in the physical, she never do that. But anyway, this is for the wise, those who are wise. Okay, those who are wise. If you are not wise, if you don't get it, just leave it. You don't get it. So why we are sharing this is for you to be careful where you go to, so that you can fulfill God's purpose upon your life. Don't let people lay hands on your head anyhow. You need to be very careful. You people that carry your children around and say, hey, pray for my child, pray for my, and they start tapping, tapping, tapping. Be careful. Okay, this lady, Kaffy. Kaffy is a dancer. She still dance. Plans to always lure, deceive, and convert movie celebrities into the synagogue is always a priority thing on TB Joshua's mind or agenda. And he uses his disciples to smooth tongue them into believing his lies. Yes, I was once in that situation. Because he believes these celebrities are good marketing tools for him to be known. Yes, when show me your friends. I tell you, you are when you begin to associate with, some people. So it's like the name, you start tagging along. That's what I'm saying. Because he believes these celebrities are good marketing tools for him to be known, because they create sensational news or there is spiritual connotation. I don't know. So Kaffy, a dancer, amongst others, were invited to TB Joshua's birthday by Theo Upa. Remember this Theo? Theo featured in Stephen Aponsen $2,000 saga. Okay. But birthday by Theo Upa, a film director producer who once worked briefly with Emmanuel TV. I was once Emmanuel TV director. Yes. So with Emmanuel TV, owned by TB Joshua, after the birthday, when TB Joshua was told that Kaffy, a Guinness World Record holder, was in the house, he wanted to convert her to be one of his disciples. So he sent Kemi and myself. Remember, during the time of the bull, it was also myself and Kemi. He sent Kemi and I on this mission to find a way to achieve be achieved. Yes. But when he realized that whenever Kaffy visited him, she only preoccupied him with a business proposal. At that time, Kaffy has a lot of business proposals. Yes. Business proposals to build up herself a dancing studio or school. And she wanted TB Joshua to help her financially in sponsoring her project. So TB Joshua lost interest in her. And anytime Kaffy visited TB Joshua on an appointment, he would refuse to see her. I'm telling you gospel truth. Kaffy can bear witness. TB Joshua loves to keep talented, gifted people as his disciples. If he realizes there is God's gift and great future ahead of someone, which he can hijack or tap into his personal use, he always enchants that no one will be greater than him. What a delusion. Let me tell you, anytime Kaffy visited, Kaffy usually charter Uber from the island to the mainland. TB Joshua in the Khartoum mainland. So, and believing that by the time she's leaving, TB Joshua will give her money, to pay for our transportation. So, by the time Kaffy get to Synagogue, TB Joshua will ask myself and Kemi, go and listen to her, go and convince her that all this dancing, she should come and stay in the synagogue. So by the time we begin to manipulate her and say, hey, look at us, look how, we left everything and come here, the lady will tell us point blank, I'm not interested in staying here. I have a career ahead of me. And at the end of the day, we'll go back to TB Joshua and say, this is what she's saying. TB Joshua will say, okay. So TB Joshua will not see her. So by the time Kaffy is leaving, she'll be complaining to us. Oh, I brought Uber and Uber has been staying for how many hours? How is she going to? Sometimes myself and Kemi, we usually use our own money and just, because, we have human empathy. You understand? We understand how things go. So we usually help people out of our own way. Yes. So we just leave it like that. So we then we return back to TB Joshua and we just tell him that girl, she's not serious. And TB Joshua will just say she's a prostitute. Let her continue staying out there. As if Kaffy had agreed to stay in the synagogue, she will not become even more prostitutes inside the synagogue than being outside. Majek Fashek also said he knew TB Joshua to be a magician and a con artist. I saw few times Majek visited the synagogue. He always uses his backside to enter into TB Joshua's office as if they belong to the same cult. Let me give you this scenario. The moment TB Joshua said, go and bring him from the studio when he's ready to see him, Majek Fashek will be following you. The moment he gets to the entrance of TB Joshua's office, Majek Fashek will turn his back and use his back to enter into TB Joshua's office. And TB Joshua will just be laughing as if it doesn't mean anything. It was brother Amos Mcroy. Yes. He's cousin to Majek. He was the one that introduced Majek. The same person who is introducing another person that I'm going to read, Sonny Okosun. Sonny Okosun. Sonny was a regular visitor to the synagogue in his days when whatever personal reasons that drove him to visit TB Joshua, I do not know. I only say what I know. But each time after their private meeting, TB Joshua will invite his 4 regular live-in chorister, choir girls, Anu, Anne, Moturayo Abiola, and Shehu Abiola, those girls that TB Joshua raped. Yes. To speak with Sonny Okosun and ask him, and he always tell them to ask him questions regarding how they could improve their singing pattern and voice training, since Okosun was a music legend. Bose too, Kemi's sister, had not joined the synagogue at that time. Bose Adelo Kiki, at that time I'm talking about, she has not joined, she was still in Sunday school, okay? And because TB Joshua is always jealous over the young girls that are his sex toys, he could not trust them to be with Okosun alone. So he will ask me to coordinate and monitor their meetings. Among many freebies Okosun gave them was to be individualistic. Yes, he told them to be individualistic. and diversify their learning instruments. Yes, alongside their voice talent. Okay, that's one of the some of the um, freebies, some of the advices he gave them. He said they should be in the, usually before they always sing together. So he said they should be practicing individuals, differently. And they should also learn instruments along their, voice talent. Okosu also brought or introduced into the synagogue a trumpeter to teach the girls, but only Turayo and Sheun were able to catch up with the teacher. It happened one certain time when TB Joshua visited Indonesia for crusade. Why in one of the days we spent there, because I was also there, why the technical group was waiting in TB Joshua's hotel room. We were all in his hotel room in Jakarta to make confirmation of some assignment. There's nothing anybody does inside the synagogue without TB Joshua's, knowing. He gives go ahead, he gives okay, even to the point of if they want to go and buy pepper in the canteen, in the cafeteria. I'm telling you, many of you don't even know. So we were waiting, even when it's at the dime minute, you still have to wait and see him to get confirmation. Because if you do anything outside of him, either the thing is good or bad, you'll be in trouble. So while we were waiting, I noticed Mr. Amos Mcroy, the cousin of Majek Fashek. I noticed Mr. Mcroy, the synagogue chief sound engineer at that time, suddenly rushed out of the room where we were seated. He rushed out of the room to attend to his telephone call outside. Mr. Mcroy later brought the phone message back to TB Joshua, who spoke to the caller. At that time, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw that he brought the phone call, back to TB Joshua. And TB Joshua spoke to the caller for like 10 minutes. I overheard TB Joshua because we were in his hotel room. I overheard TB Joshua blaming the caller. I still didn't know who the caller was. Just blaming the caller. Why he would travel to USA without informing him. At the end of their conversation, TB Joshua told the caller on the final notes that, come back, I will see you when you come and pray for you. The caller happened to be Sonny Okosun, who, according to Mr. Mcroy, because we got talking, had gone to USA for cancer chemotherapy treatment. When Mr. Amos, Mr. Amos Mcroy was one of the members of Okosu's Ozidi musical band. Yes, Ozidi, they call it Ozidi. Ozidi, that's right. Ozidi musical band before joining the synagogue, himself and Samono. Yes. So before joining the synagogue as a sound engineer. So whenever Okosu visited the synagogue in those days, if I was not available or the choir girls were busy, Mr. Amos will coordinate him to see TB Joshua. So against Sonny Okosu doctor's advice for Sonny to complete his chemotherapy treatment in the US, Sonny discharged himself from the hospital and ran down to Nigeria, believing there was a healer who could put an end to his cancer problem. At the time Sonny returned to Nigeria, Mr. Mcroy had discovered the deception of TB Joshua. and he had wisely made the best use of his legs before he returned. The moment we returned at that time from Indonesia, everybody was just, trying to leave synagogue. That's right. Okay. So by the time Sonny came back, Mr. Mcroy has made the best use of his legs. Sonny visited the synagogue on a Sunday morning to meet TB Joshua as they agreed on the phone, believing TB Joshua is a man of his word. He believed in all the lies and manipulation he had watched on TV about synagogue, as if, they were true. And he expected TB Joshua to heal him as he promised. On that fateful Sunday, Okosun was taken upstairs to sit inside the presidential lodge, and he was in effect incarcerated inside the synagogue as TB Joshua instructed some designated disciples to stay put with him in the room to prevent Okosun from attending the gathering with his devotees because of his health condition. By the time Okosun returned, no one could even recognize him. He has become shadow of himself because of what he was going through. So that is why the moment he alighted, those people that saw him, they have quickly gone to TB Joshua and said, hey, his condition is terrible. So he said, okay, take him to the presidential lodge and lock him there. They kept him upstairs inside the synagogue, where they cajoled him with different false miracle videotapes and Emmanuel TV channel to psych him. From morning time, Okosun arrived at the synagogue until late in the evening after the service ended. Whenever the man gets upset to go home, they will pacify him with lies that TB Joshua has just sent message that he will soon have time to see him and heal him inside the room. At a time, he told them that he was going to take his medicine from his car downstairs. Okosun said 2 people monitored him to his car so that he would not bump into TB Joshua on the corridor. In the synagogue, it is only when TB Joshua wants to see people that you can see him. Otherwise, monitoring agents will be delegated on you. Anyway, it was a long and tiring day for Sonny. He had sat down for hours in anticipation and was worn out mentally and physically for sitting too long under stress and embarrassment of not being attended to. So he told his driver to take him home. But TB Joshua representatives blocked his car from leaving synagogue premises. They did not know that Okosun was communicating secretly his experience to Mr. Mcroy through phone messaging. Okosun said, I stepped out of my car, told my driver to meet me at home whenever synagogue releases you. And he took a commercial motorbike home from Ikotuegbe to Ogba, where he resides. It was no surprise at all that Sonny Okosun died of complications and stress soon afterwards, as his family quickly had to fly him back to US to continue his chemo. But it was too late. Even they took him to India. Yes, it was too late for him. He lost the battle. I wonder the account which TB Joshua will have to give to God at the end if he refused to repent of this evil. Orlando Owo, I was not yet in the synagogue at the time this elderly musician visited, but I saw his history in the archive, the videos. Yes, you remember I was once our studio manager. Okay. So I had access to many videos. I also heard that he and King Sonny Ade contributed money to purchase the first ever choir music band for the synagogue when they were bewitched. But as they realized what the synagogue was about, they made the best use of their legs. Yes, that's right. You know, there are a lot of what do you call it? Lot of musicians. Yes, in those days. Even Adewale Ayuba. Yes, the one in this bowler hat. Adewale Ayuba even sang a song for TB Joshua. I've been trying to reach him in order to interview him. The voice notes I played last week belongs to one of them. I'm not going to mention whose name is. The voice notes belongs to one of them. You know, when I called the man and asked him, I understand you visited TB Joshua. He said yes. Then what happened? Why did you leave? Then he narrated the dream he had when TB Joshua wanted to give him power or maybe do some kind of exchange or whatever. Then he saw that TB Joshua was half snake and half human. And all the people attending to him in his groove, they were all snakes. And he was into muti. Yes, into muti. And he asked him to lie on a bed. But thank God for Jesus that came through for him. And God set him free. So even Dele Taiwo, yes, I omitted Dele Taiwo, but Dele Taiwo was also in the synagogue. I think he visited once. Yes, they took him by the backyard. Yes, he was seated in the supermarket. He didn't sit in the studio. He was seated in the supermarket. So they took him through the backyard to TB Joshua's office. And all these people, you see that because there's no solution, the moment they get there, and you know, many of these people, they too, they are waka about. You understand? They are waka about. So the moment they get there and they see that, oh, we are looking for salvation, and this man is introducing hell to us. So they make the best use of their legs. You understand? So that's just it. It's just 28 minutes. Let's just leave it at this. Till next time. God bless.